Oh yeah, there's Andy, and he's a Challenge of the Americas Coda. Right now, he's representing the he is the West Coast rock guy. So challengekarting.com. His whole season kind of got flipped upside down with this COVID thing because we were supposed to have our season finale at Sonoma. Let's see, 3 weekends ago. Let me just kind of rewind. Yeah, March 27th. So 3 weeks ago, we were supposed to have the season finale of the Challenge Karting event. I was really looking forward to it because there's a number of racers that I've met over the years that I haven't seen in a couple of years. It's like, man, we're going to go to the track, going to hang out in Sonoma, which is always good food. A beautiful track at this time of the year when you're overlooking the valley and you see the bay. You see the bay in the background. Everything's green. Everything's beautiful. The wind's not picking up yet. Did I mention the food? The food in the area is incredible. So, yeah. But yeah, Andy, challengekarting.com. He's one of our current sponsors. And soon we will get his schedule live and updated as soon as all of us know when we can go race. But again, you can go back a couple podcasts, 2-3 months ago, and Andy was one of our guests. I kind of just enjoyed rambling with him. It just he walked us real quickly through his starting karting and his career and his experience with road tax and his current experience with Vortex, and it is neat. It's just really neat to see. So, Andy, thank you for the support of Norcal Karters. We do appreciate it. Another club that stepped up this year is NCK Road Racing. They're kind of our oddballs, not in a bad way, just in a different way, where Norcal Karters is predominantly sprint racing. That is my personal background. I'm not a dirt racer. I'm not going to pretend like I know anything about dirt racing. I'm not a road racer. I'm not going to pretend I know anything about road racing. Well, the NCK Road Racing Group, their website's nckroadracing.com. They're the road racers for karting. And these guys are doing 90 to 130 miles an hour in a go-kart. Some tracks they're going faster. But for the majority, let's just keep it around 100, 110 miles an hour. And I started going to the road races, supporting customers for Swede Tech, and just started getting to know the guys. And the more and more I went to support the customers, because that was my paying job, the more and more I got to like the road racing crowd. It is a lot more laid back. So it's not that high-strung go, 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 go. A lot of the guys are, like my age, just middle-aged, in their jobs, in their careers. They have to go work on Monday. They still like to race. But they found this niche with road racing. And just a lot of good dudes out there. And a couple of them finally got me talked into actually driving. Because for the longest time, I had kind of the pre-nomer. Is that the right word? Pre-nomer. That some of the road racers, they just thrash their crap together. It's held together with baling wire, and they're hauling ass. And there's a few of those guys still out there. But for the most part, the road racing guys, they got tired of getting crashed into by the 16-year-old kid at the sprint track. Let's be honest. Road racing physically is easier than sprint racing, which is one of my greatest appeals right now because I can still run a shifter kart and go road race, and it doesn't just completely obliterate me. Whereas if I take the shifter out to Dixon or Davis, it just beats the crap out of me. I feel like I'm just getting punched in the head and the ribs and everything else. And I keep telling myself, yep, I do this because it's a great workout. But the actual road racing allows you to kind of sit back and really just focus on the driving of it. And it was a lot of fun. So it's, again, nckroadracing.com. Great group of guys out there. Thank you for supporting Norcal Karters. And we have Northern Nevada Kart Club. So they stepped up this year to help out the Norcal Karter page. And Northern Nevada Kart Club, it's basically the Reno kart track. It's a sprint track. Beautiful track. Now, I haven't been there in years, but I've been there with 3 different variations of their track. And one thing about Reno is people, though some people will complain about the curbs. Well, I remember the days when we'd come flying down the hill flat out in 5th or 6th gear, trying to navigate the curbs to get on the straightaway. And you basically flew over them. It's very similar to Sonoma, where you don't navigate around them, you navigate it over them. And when I say navigate, you're flying. And if you hit it just wrong, you end up in the fence. And so years ago, they decided, okay, we got to change this curbing around to slow people down so we don't kill someone or throw them into the fence or over into the hot pit area. Because that happened a few times where people just went flying off. I remember one race where there was a number of us. It was in the 80 class. We're coming down the hill. A back marker went off the track in the sand. Put sand all over the track. And 2 carts ahead of me, I think it was AJ Allmendinger. There's a couple carts ahead of me. And his cart looked a little bit squirrely going through the section. I didn't think anything of it, because anyone that's ever seen AJ Allmendinger drive a go-kart, if you don't scratch your head and go, how did he just do that? Then you weren't watching him close enough, because he's one of those guys I've watched many times in a go-kart, and I just scratch my head. It's like, how does he do that? It's like, it's just physically, not physically with your muscles, but just physics. That's not possible. And he was able to get a cart around the track. However he did it, I have no idea. But you would just go, well, physics, you can't explain it. That doesn't make sense. So he came through the section, and I remember his cart, it got a little bit squirrely. But that was Allmendinger. I mean, he was just always squirrely, but fast as hell. And then the guy right behind him went into the fence. I was the next guy, and I went into the fence. And it was because all of us hit the sand, and Allmendinger hit it, but again, just a whole different level of a driver. He navigated it and just went through the sand, made it, whoop, on the straightaway, let's go. And then the rest of us knobs are going through there. We hit the sand and we end up in the fence. But Northern Nevada, I haven't been up there in years. I actually did a tire run a couple weeks ago, went to Reno, but it's always been that outlying track. Northern Nevada Kart Club. Their website is nnkcreno.com. And I mean, over the past 3-4 years, they have a core group of people that are putting a lot of effort to help promote it. But Reno, along with Medford and Kerman Kart Club, they were kind of always the outliers in Norcal karting because they weren't Norcal. And it's such a shame because the Nevada track, what a joy to drive. It's just so much fun. It's just a fun layout. They have their own little corkscrew similar to Laguna Seca. And so if you ever have a chance, go out to Reno. But check out their website, Northern Nevada Kart Club, nnkcreno.com. And again, we appreciate your support of the NorCal project. And I mean, without our sponsors, we just can't do it. I can't just keep throwing money at something that I don't know what the right word is, where I don't see the potential. The idea of Norcal Karters is to grow it to a point where it's completely sustainable. It's a real business, and then it can be passed on to the next generation for them to change it to what they see to help that generation grow the sport of karting. And that really is the overall focus of Norcal Karters. And so again, without these supporters, we can't do it. And we have another club that stepped up, Central California Kart Racing Association, CCKRA.com. These are the guys I just mentioned, Kerman. So they stemmed originally from the Kerman Club, and they race at Buttonwillow, and they also race at the Fresno, I think it's called Big Air Fairgrounds. But a private donation came in, and the donor said, just plug Central California Kart Racing Association. And I don't know how many times in karting I've run across people like this. They don't want the attention. They don't want a shout out. They don't want anything. They just say, hey, do this for the good of karting. And again, like I said, a donation came in. They said, just promote Central California Kart Racing Association. So for anyone on the board down there at CCKRA, I'm not going to tell you who did it, but just know you have members in your group that want to see you guys succeed. So just remember that. And if you feel like, hey, this is getting a little bit hard, or hey, things aren't looking up, you have support from people, even though it might be unspoken. You have support down there. And so as soon as we get the calendars live again, we'll have all the live updates for CCKRA, live to the registration page and all that good stuff. So we do that for all of our premier sponsors. But I got sidetracked only because it's, again, the private donation came in, and this person didn't want anything out of it except for to help karting grow. And it just such a cool thing. I mean, I run across the best people from this sport, and it's so glad I'm in karting for that reason. So again, CCKRA.com, go check them out. Rock Cup USA, they were kind of our first headlining sponsor last year. Garrett over there at Rock Cup USA, he just, sorry, I lost my screen. So rockcupusa.com, that's the Vortex engine platform. And not oh man to Garrett, I just lost my placeholder. So I have to reboot. Unlike Microsoft Windows, I crashed. Now I got to reboot. Not quite a blue screen error, but so Rock Cup USA, we appreciate your support. Again, Garrett and those guys, they were one of the first to say, okay, hey, let's try this headline sponsor thing out. And they stepped up 2019. And then the last couple I have on my list, we have kpxracing.com. That's the NorCal, Briggs and Stratton, as well as the IAME K100 regional series. And they travel around to the different clubs, and they're a regional group. And KPX, along with Leading Edge Motorsports, which is Greg Bell's outfit out of Lodi, they kind of partnered up for a Prairie City event, and we were trying some different marketing, and we were doing some live broadcasting. And when I say live, we weren't doing live racing action, because in my opinion, the live racing action, it's only great at that exact moment for whoever's there. We tried something a little bit different with KPX and Leading Edge, where we were actually going through the pits. We were doing some interviews. We were highlighting some other things. And I was actually really surprised about the interaction. To me, it just felt a lot more genuine. It just, the actual racing, there's plenty of options to get your racing fix in, but looking back at it, there was a lot of great interaction from the behind-the-scene interviews or the behind-the-scene videos. And so I actually learned a lot that weekend. It's like, okay, this is what, racers that are not at the track are missing out on, and they're tuning into it. And so again, KPX and Leading Edge Motorsports, thank you. That was actually a really neat weekend. Again, it was at Prairie City. And it
'Cause, you know, racers that are not at the track are missing out on, and they're tuning into it. And so again, KPX and Leading Edge Motorsports, thank you. That was actually a really neat weekend. Again, it was at Prairie City. And yeah, it really,
really makes you think about how to